how do the two Night Lords of Elden Ring Night Reign's DLC stack up against the original Night Lords of Elden Ring Night Reign? That is the question that I'm trying to answer today. So I'll be going back and ranking every single Night Lord in Elden Ring Night Reign, including the new DLC bosses, and see how they stack up against each other. Now, I made this video a few months ago. My ranking has completely changed, and we do have two additional new bosses to talk about. So the main reason I'm making this video is for them. And I want to say I won't be including the Everdark version. So this is just a normal version of every single Night Lord. So in dead last, I have the Sentient Pest. Now I know a lot of people are already like, what the hell, because most people in the community believe Maris is the worst boss in Elden Ring Night Reign. And even though I completely understand that take, I personally have Sentient Pest as the worst boss in Elden Ring Night Reign. Now I do think they're somewhat close to each other, but Maris is just it's a very easy fight. I don't really think it's that bad considering how easy it is. These guys can be actually pretty hard, especially in Deep of Night, which is what I've mostly been playing. I find them incredibly annoying in Deep of Night. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the gimmick they have going on. I think visually they're very cool, and I like the idea of the gimmick, but I don't really like how in the first part you're fighting two bugs that are going to be spamming AoEs at you back to back. You could be fighting the big bug, and you could have the small one throwing nukes at you, throwing poison at you. And if you're fighting them solo, it's just going to be incredibly annoying, because once you get the poison on you, there's no way to get it off of you. I think the big bug has one move that I find to be super annoying. It's his scream. I feel like that scream comes out of nowhere and does way too much damage. Now, their second phase is where I have my main issues, to be honest. You know, the dash they start doing in the second phase, I find that move just to be incredibly annoying. The reason I don't like that move is because it's essentially just a fight stopper. No matter what, you just have to stop everything. You can't even attack. They're just going to be dashing constantly. You just have to wait for them to finish doing what they're doing, and then you can finally start reacting. And even then, you might not be able to because there's light beams everywhere. They're on a light beam. You just have to wait for it to go away. I don't like the second phase of this fight because they have way too many elements that just makes you stop moving. You just have to run away, and I think that's just boring for a fight. I'm playing Elden Ring Night, and I'm not playing a turn-based game. Like it's not my turn to move when they decide to put laser when they're dashing, and I just find that to be boring. Next up, I have Maris. Now, Maris is just a decent fight in my eyes. I know a lot of people absolutely despise her, and that hate is just a little bit unwarranted for me. Now, I do understand a little bit where it does come from. I do have my fair share of complaints with this boss fight. For example, the fact not every knife fairy is good against her. If you have like a ranged character, you're going to have a way easier time with this boss. And I feel like every character should have an even advantage against every single Night Lord. So I do think that's a little bit lame. But outside of that, I mean, I think it's fine. Like, melee characters can still deal with Maris. You have to destroy the tentacles. But it's just way slower than actually like you doing a ranged character like Revenant or Iron Eye, which is way more simple. I think this boss is quite unique for Night Reign, which is why I like it. I think she spices up the boss rush a little bit, but as an individual level, I think she's just mid to average, hence why she's so low on the list. Don't find her offensive in any way, but don't find her spectacular in any way either. So I feel like this is a good spot for her. I feel like every boss above her just does a lot of things better. And in 8th place, I have Gladius. Now, I will say I used to like this guy a lot more. I still think he is a great fight. He is a great introduction fight to Elden Ring Night Reign. But I'm just not as big on him as I used to be before. I don't find his gimmick to be as cool as I once did. Now, I do think there's a lot of good stuff going on with this boss. And I will say it also did make me like him less with Deep of Night and his new invasion. Oh my god, they're all so annoying. That made me dislike the original fight a little bit, but I still think it's a great fight. For one, I think his design is absolutely sick. One of the coolest designs in the entire FromSoft catalog. I love the way this guy looks. It's quite a simple like Tricephalus look, but I do think it fits him very well. I do think they took their own creative spin on it and made it actually a very cool design. I do really enjoy it visually. And even from a gameplay standpoint, I think this is a very fun fight. I really do like the 3-splitting gimmick. I think it can be a bit annoying on solos, having to manage all 3 dogs. And for me, I just feel like he's much easier when he's combined. So I feel like a lot of time when he's in 3 pieces, unless you have like 3 really good teammates, which I have had before, you're just kind of running, waiting for him to be split into one. Because he can switch aggro so quick, they could be fighting one, your teammates could be fighting the other, and all of a sudden you're being jumped, which obviously not a fun feeling. You're just going to get down instantly. So I feel like this boss, I don't really have much problems with him. I think he's essentially a perfect first boss, but I do think he is more on the simple side because he is the first boss. Obviously the advanced version fixed that and made him the hardest boss in the game. But I do feel like the other bosses just do more than him, hence why they're higher on the list. But this boss is very good. It honestly extremely interchangeable with the next pick. They're very close to each other. Number 7, I have Gaping Jaw. Now, Gaping Jaw is a boss that I'm very hit or miss on. Some days I love him, some days I hate him. And for today, I do love him because he is pretty high on this list. Usually I have him under Gladius, but I have been really enjoying his fight lately, at least in normal version. I do have a lot of problems with the advanced version, but we're talking about normal versions today. And I think his normal version is quite good. Now, my biggest problems with this fight is I don't like how most of his moves consist of grab attacks and AoEs. Now, I do think that in general has an AoE problem, but this guy I feel like it suffers from it more than anybody else because he has grab attacks and AoEs, and that's it. Now, he does have a few normal attacks, but they're here and far between. It's mostly grab attacks and AoEs. And that can be a bit annoying. Now, I will say this, most of his AoEs and grabs, they're pretty easy to dodge, they're extremely predictable. But if you make a mistake and you get grabbed, unless you're playing someone like Raid or Guardian or Wilder, you're gonna die. Which I don't think that's really fair. I don't think a grab attack should one-shot you, especially in solos, if you're by yourself. Now in trios, I understand it, especially for Gaping Jaw, since his are really delayed. But I don't think one mistake should screw you over completely in solos. Now, one of my favorite parts about this guy is his design. I think design-wise, he's one of my favorites in all of FromSoft. I love how grotesque and nasty he looks. Overall, I think, honestly, he's a great fight. He's very solid. I don't think he's anything spectacular, but in terms of Dragon Fight Squad, I do think he's one of the best FromSoft has ever made. Number 6, I have Caligo, and I want to say, after this point, I believe every single boss on this list is peak. They are very good. And Caligo was honestly interchangeable with the one I have after. And I swapped them, actually. I recorded the other way around, and I came back and was like, okay, I like the other guy a little bit more than Caligo. Now, the reason I really love Caligo is because in Deep on Night, he's my absolute favorite boss to fight. I feel like his moveset is so simple, which isn't a bad thing. There have a lot of visual stuff that make him very cool, and it's still a very rewarding moveset, but it is quite an easy moveset. And I really do enjoy fighting him, because I never get bored when I see him in Deep on Night, and it's a positive that he's also pretty easy. Now, as far as Dragon Fight Squad, this is one of the best stuff FromSoft has ever made. I believe it's the perfect mix of getting in there, but giving you like a lot of opportunities to hit him, but also like flying away. He's still a dragon, he does dragon things, he does fly away a bit too much sometimes, but it is definitely manageable. I never felt like, okay, I'm getting no time fighting him, he's just constantly in the air. And honestly, that was my original complaint with him. I just felt like he was in the air for way too long. But after fighting him, like I think I've beaten him 20 times now, I just feel like he gives you a lot of room to hit him. Almost every single attack he does, it's an opening for you to get some hits on him. So he's a great fight, a great dragon fight that manages a lot of dragon gimmicks that usually annoy me pretty well. Beautiful OST, beautiful arena. It's the most cinematic moves in the entire franchise. Overall, just a fantastic fight. Number 5, I have Libra. Now, Libra is such a cool fight. I used to have him like one spot higher, but I don't think he got any worse. The reason I have him one spot lower now is because the other boss just grew on me so much. But Libra is just such a fantastic fight. I generally like never get tired of this guy. I feel like this guy is the perfect boss that has like so much going on, but it's so well. Like it fits so well. Like it doesn't feel like too much. There's a lot going on, but it never feels like, okay, there's too much going on that they ruined the fight. I love the constant frenzy effects, but it feels very manageable. When you build frenzy, it feels like you played something wrong and you're being punished. It doesn't feel like, oh, I got frenzy, I got bullshitted, right? At least for normal Libra. Advanced Libra, that's a whole different story, but we're not talking about that today. Also, I love his design. I think design-wise, he's one of my favorites in the entire game. He looks so cool. His gimmick is also one of the best in the entire game. Constantly like being able to talk to him, making deals with him inviting you to offer you deals, and even him showing up normally on the map to offer you a deal but you get something negative in return. Just such a cool fight with a very fun moveset, a lot of cool gimmicks, and a very cool design. I just think you can't go wrong with having this fight as one of your favorites. Number 4, I have Fulgur, and I don't think a boss has grown on me so much more than this guy has. This guy is so much fun. Thinking about the first time I fought him, now I understand why I didn't like him too much. He was just beating my butt. But these days, I generally have so much fun fighting him. He's one of my favorites in the entire franchise, not even an Elden Ring NEIGHTREIGN. His moveset is like the perfect mix of a NEIGHTREIGN fight and a normal Souls fight. It has a lot of attacks that are AoEs, they're meant to hit everyone. But also has a lot of like personal attacks, a lot of attacks that are like only going for you, a lot of attacks that feel very fluid to dodge. It feels very satisfying to dodge, and I feel that with both of his phases. I love both of his phases, and I also love how the lightning is incorporated into his gimmick. I think it is so cool that you can stun him out of arguably his hardest hitting attack if you have lightning or you're just able to stagger him. I think that gimmick is so cool. I wish more of the boss had a weakness that interacted with him in such a effective manner. But Fulgur does it very well. I honestly think this is like a perfect fight for NEIGHTREIGN. Only reason he's not higher is the other 3 are just, oh my god, they're just so peak. And number 3, I have the Balancers. Man, this fight, like, the first time I saw this fight, I was genuinely, like, nutting in my pants. There's no other way to describe it. This fight is so beautiful. I still think it's one of the most spectacle, if not the most spectacle, in the entire game. I love how they did the gimmick fight. Now, From Software usually struggles with making a gimmick fight, but this gimmick fight is just in a league of its own. I don't think it's competitive between any other gimmick fight. It's just so good. I think the way they balance out all the harmonious together, it just fits so incredibly well together. The fight feels so smooth. The OST is beautiful. All their moves are incredibly cinematic. The transition between phase 1 and 2 feels so smooth. It doesn't feel too hard. Now, first time I fought these guys, I thought they would be impossible. And even when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, a group boss fight in Night Rain could be done very poorly. This could easily be one of the worst Night Lords you have ever gone. But Harmonia, I mean, literally made me so excited. I don't think I've ever been excited seeing a Night Lord for the first time. And even though they're not my favorite Night Lord to fight these days, they definitely had the strongest first reaction on me. I love their music, I love their arena, their moveset. I just cannot stop talking about good this fight is. I genuinely believe it's a perfect fight. I don't think there's anything I would change about it. I think for what they were going for, it achieved everything it wanted. And next up I have Heelster, and this is honestly probably the one I have the least to say about. I feel like everything there is to be said has already been said about this boss fight. Obviously a fantastic boss fight, hence why he is number 2. A great phase 1, a great phase 2, and a beautiful phase 3. I did feel like it was one, if not the most cinematic fight in the entire game. Before our number 1 spot, I believe number 1 is more cinematic, and I think you can make an argument for Harmonia being more cinematic. But Heelster is definitely a very cinematic fight. I think the reason Heelster is so good is because he could fit into a normal Elden Ring fight. He's just a very traditional one-on-one fight. And the way his fight works, he really focuses on one person. He tries to kill him before moving on to the next. Now, he still, of course, does have some AoEs and everything like that. But mostly, he's going for close-ups on a one-on-one. And obviously, those bosses are just going to feel better, feel nicer. It's more rewarding to learn them to have more complex movesets. And this guy just has everything going from design-wise, lore. I think he's just overall such a great package that you can't go wrong with having him as your favorite. Even though he's not my personal favorite, I definitely do understand why a lot of people have them as his favorite. Number 1, I have the Dreadlord. Now, I'll be honest, when I first beat Elden Ring NEIGHTREIGN and we got a DLC announcement, genuinely the first thought in my head is there's no way they'll outdo Heelster. This guy is just the GOAT, one of the best bosses ever made. He's just going to be fine, right? But Dreadlord genuinely surpassed my expectations in every single way. This fight is just cinema. Like, there's no other way to describe it. This is such a good fight that's honestly pretty experimental. I am genuinely surprised it is as good as it is. Because in phase 1, this guy summons a ton of ads. I think there's at least 20 ads around. Now, these ads are not super aggressive. They're just kind of there, but they do help him get a damage buff. And if you're not careful, you could get snuck up on and take some damage. And trust me, you're going to need all your heals for this fight. And the thing about this fight is it's very deceivingly easy. I'm not going to sit here and say he's one of the easiest fights in the game because I would be lying. But seeing his moveset, especially in the second phase, you would think, okay, yeah, this guy is impossible. But I honestly beat him more times than I lose to him. And I don't know why. I don't understand. But I think that goes to how well balanced he is with how cinematic he is. His moveset feels so rewarding to dodge. It feels so nice. I have never felt more nice dodging a boss so perfectly. I love his OST. Probably one of my favorite OSTs in the entire franchise. Especially the third phase transition. That piano is genuinely something to die for. His moveset is so cinematic. I did not think I would see him boss moving around like Spider-Man across the arena. Like, the way he's moving is genuinely so crazy, but it fits so well into the game. It is just such a well-designed fight that I could fight this guy all day and all night, and I could talk about him all day and all night. This is how you do a boss fight. And I hope we get another DLC. I hope they're able to match this quality because I just want more, bro. He's so good, and I want to fight more people like him. I want to thank everyone that actually watched this video. I love the Night Lords of Elden Ring NEIGHTREIGN. They're also some of my favorite bosses ever. Every single one of them has given me a lot of great memories, so I just love talking about these guys. So anyone hopefully that watched this video, I really appreciate you hearing me yap. And of course, if you enjoy Elden Ring NEIGHTREIGN videos, make sure to check out my page. I post a ton of Elden Ring NEIGHTREIGN. It's one of my favorite games ever. I love talking about this game. And I'll be posting more NEIGHTREIGN videos. I wanted to make a video ranking the Everdark versions, but I was waiting to see if we'll get a Heelster or Dreadlord one before I made that video. So we'll have to just sit tight. Hopefully we get versions of those sooner or later so I can talk about them fully, but for now I just want to rank the regular versions. Once again, thank you everyone that fully watched the video.